Welcome in. We are on our Friday Softr live stream. It is, what is it? Friday, December 12th. Cruising through December. Very excited to have you all this week. We're in the middle of 12 days of Softr. If you haven't noticed, we're dropping a new Softr feature every single day or Softr community related event every single day for 12 days. I think we're going on to day 4 today. And so on this live stream today, I'm going to show you some of the recent updates that have been pushed in Softr recently and how you could use them. And then we're going to build a dynamic pricing calculator together using Softr databases, Softr interfaces with the vibe coding block, and then maybe even Softr workflows to save those payloads if we get to it. It's going to be a fun session. At all times, you could drop questions in the chat, and we will get to it as soon as we can. I am missing my co-partner G today. He's off on a holiday. Enjoy your holiday. Otherwise, you got me today. This is JJ. I'm leading community and education here at Softr. Happy to be building with you all, and let's get into it. I'm going to pull up my screen here. And we'll go over this window. And the first thing up that I want to show you, as soon as I get my screen on the page here, let's see, is this a good? All right, that should be fine. So first thing up is we have single page application mode, which is now available. Let me show you guys how you can access single page application mode in your applications. Let me just get this looking better for your screen. All right, here we go. So we're gonna go into Softr Studio here. And we're gonna go settings, advanced, and then we're gonna turn on single page application mode right there, all right? But before I do that, let me just show you kind of like our both before and after. The cool thing with single page application mode is it makes the application faster by not having to reload every part of the application and every single page load. So let me just log in as a user so I can see more of this. All right, great. Now we're logged in. And let's see. Not showing it. Why aren't we showing? Maybe am I not logged in as the right user? Let's try it again. All right, so there's no user group set to that user. So there we are. All right, great. And so we're going to click around here. We can see that when we click around, this flashes every time, right? It's fine, but it's flashing. So we can improve that by going to our single page application, toggling this on, saving it. Then we're going to preview it again. And now when we go to reload the page, you'll see that this is static and it's just a cleaner experience in that sense, right? Faster, cleaner, really nice thing to have. This is normally the way that I build my applications, and it's so nice that we now have this natively in Softr. Really, really great feature. Hey from chat. So single page application, adding a lot of speed to the application. Another really fun one that came this week was our conditional coloring in our calendar block. By the way, if you are looking at this, we're in the softr.io/what's new. Here you'll see a stream of our latest bigger features that come out every day or week. As you know us, we ship all the time here at Softr. So with the conditional coloring feature on the calendar block, let me pull up a calendar block and see if I could put together something that shows this real quick. We'll go log activity, and we'll just add a calendar block at the bottom of this. And we'll say, we'll do it by the month. All right. And we'll pick our same block that we're messing with here, which is our sales CRM. Sales CRM. And for this, we will do activities. All right. And now we can go into content, and we can start to put together the actual activities that we want to show up on the, let's see if we got a date here. Dates. And then we can go into conditional coloring right here. Now we can start to add rules for different colors that we want certain things to be. So like activity type could be, for example, let's see, an in-person meeting, right? And we can make this activity type for an in-person meeting be this color. And then the next one could be activity type for a email follow-up, right? And then that would be, let's say, like a green color, right? And I don't have it right here, but let's see if we can get some kind of data showing here. But it's allowing you to have a lot better custom coloring for your calendars based on certain rules that you apply. Looks like this database is not the best one for calendar, but this is how you do it. Conditionally coloring, really nice feature to have here. Before we had kind of all of the events the same color, and now you can have a lot more control here in your Softr calendars. Again, these calendars, they're really powerful calendar blocks. Like they're central components that we built for you, so you don't need to keep rebuilding it over and over. And there's so many things that you can do with our calendar block. Of course, you could filter it. You could switch over to different types of views. So if you want a month view, a week view, a day view, you could choose the default view. A lot of different really cool things. Here is the event popover. So when you go over to hover over something, an event, then you'll be able to see the details for that event here. So our calendar widget, really cool, really cool. Now I want to hop over to Softr workflows because there's some new stuff that came in workflows that is also really cool. So I'm going to go and create a new workflow here, and we will say that the workflow for now will just pull something from Softr databases. All right, and we'll do, let's see, say, okay, new applications for this one. So the sample one. So let's say we have a scenario. Camille, you don't have it yet. If that's true, then it's not available for Airtable as a data source yet, but it will be very, very, very soon. And as soon as it's available, then you'll see it pop up. But expect it sometimes in the next week or two for Airtable data sources. Cool. So back to Softr workflows here. I want to show you about a new thing called structured output. All right. And so this is where we could take one AI call or one kind of API call with many values that you want to return, and then read that as a structured output and then create multiple things with it. Right. It's really, really cool. So this launched earlier, I think this week or last week, and it's especially helpful with some kind of AI step. At least very applicable in what we do here. And so what we could say here is we want the AI to return multiple values. And I'm just going to use an arbitrary example for this use case. But let's say this is an application coming in, like a job application, right? So you are an HR recruiter. I want you to look at this job application and return the following values in a structured JSON output: the name of the application, the name of the applicant, the summary of how well graded their application is, and a recommendation if we should move forward with them or not, with their appropriate values being true or false. Right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pop this in the ChatGPT and say, give me an example structured JSON output based on this prompt. And then I'm just going to have ChatGPT create a structured output so we could show an example of what this looks like. Right? Great. So I'm going to copy that. And then based on that, I'm going to say, all right, based on that, here's the kind of output that I'm looking for here. And we can now have this be tested. And let's see what it writes. It's coming in okay. Outside of that, let's go into, we need to add some value here. So now we can go in here and say application name, and we can go in here and actually write in, the application name that we're getting from the first step, which we need to configure here. So let's go in here. Let's test this. Nothing to test. All right, let's try. Grab something else here. Maybe it's too old. Let's see. All right, let me go into that database real quick. And I'll add something so I can get a test event going here. HR portal, there we go. Applications. Let's see if this works now. Let's pull in our latest. See if we can get a trigger out of this. What are we doing? Applications. Okay, we'll say created at is not empty. Let me see if this will proceed now. All right. Okay, cool. So we have data coming through now. We're extracting if they're a good fit or not, the description, the LinkedIn profile, etc. And now we can go in and into our structured output here and start replacing some of this stuff. And so here I'd say application name, say name, and then this is this could be anything that you want it to be. I'm just showing you the format of how we would go about doing this. So I actually don't need this one. This is a duplicate field, and I'm just going to change that to applicant name. And then see here we have a grade summary, and then this is like a subarray within it, which is a little bit more advanced than what we're looking for, but could be fine for now. And then let's see. I'm actually going to adjust this a little bit, make it a little bit easier for us here. And then the next one would be, let's see, description. We'll do description of the applicant description. And this is really just like an example output. I'm just showing the AI what I want to be returned to me. This isn't even fully needed. Sometimes you could AI will just interpret it properly. But I do find that with AI, if you show them the output that you're looking for, like in an example format, you'll get a better result, right? I'm going to keep it there for now, just to get this testing along. I don't want to spend too much time with it. All right, and then I do need to output this and just say only respond with structured JSON output. All right, and then the next step would be we actually want to update that record in the database now. And so we'll go to HR portal, and we'll go to applications, and we'll find what we got from the first one, which was the first step, the ID. And then we'll go and add fields. Let's see, name, and then description. All right, let's go back here and test this one again. All right, we're getting the JSON output now, back the way that we want it. Let's see. I should be able to get my result here. What am I missing? What am I missing here? Extract call API, right? Is it? Not sure what I'm missing here. I'm gonna have to come back to this one. This is a new update that we just launched, and the result should be that I'm able to find all the values that come back from the structured output, and with just one API call, have 4 or 5 different values come in that I can just use. Other than like normally you'd say, all right, have an API call to do a summary of the application, and then do another API call to do a evaluation. But with the structured output, you can combine it all into one call, return all of those values in a JSON string, and then Softr Workflows is able to intelligently parse those JSON values from that string to update in one way. So it's a much more efficient way to build your workflows. I'm getting caught up with it at the moment, but I'll come back to it. I'll look to follow this up later. If you haven't seen yet, our code builder right here, right? And so this is a fun one. If you need anything to build, your code builder can build it for you. I like doing this if you have questions about like, hey, how should I structure this automation, this workflow? You can have code builder attempt to build it for you, and it can give you ideas of how you should be thinking about this workflow and automation. And so it's very helpful in that way. Let me stop to answer a question real quick here. So, hey, do you guys plan to use the whole width of the web page? Right now, we just use the center of the app, but imagine two blocks standing next to each other. You can do this with custom UI. We build our UI in the sense to give you best practices and how we normally see business apps being built. And so if you want to override those with custom CSS values, you can, but it's just not the best practices that we set up for our users using the application. Thanks for your questions, though. Keep them coming in. Happy to answer them along the way. The last thing that we've released for 12 Days of Softr is examples for our vibe coding block. If you haven't recently, go over to our YouTube page, youtube.com/Softr, and you can see a lot of really awesome videos that we released in the last week or two. We had a new case study showcasing how a company uses Softr as their portal for their neighborhood cleanup management system. And it's really, really cool and impactful use case. Love seeing Softr used in that way. I also recently made a video about how to get started with the vibe coding block. And then Guillaume has just been crushing it with all of his videos. Tons of videos about how you can use the vibe coding block in many different ways. This one is summarizing CRM prospecting, automated CRM emails, a lot of different things. So really, really cool. Oh yeah, the co-builder right here. Glad to hear, Jonathan. Yeah, it does a lot for you, and it's getting better every single day. The co-builder can build a full workflow for you. It can edit the workflow for you. It's really helpful, especially if you're just learning and you're looking for inspiration on how to get started. Yep. This one's going to bother me. I'm going to have to come back to this one. I'm not sure what I'm missing at the moment, but we'll come back to that. All right. Another thing I want to show you today is one of our Softr partners, Harold, built this really, really cool interactive pricing calculator. And this is like a full stack process. And I want to show you how that we could build it ourselves too. If you look at Harold's pricing calculator, he's specifically coming at it from the reference of, I am a service provider providing services to someone. So let's say I'm a Softr partner. Someone wants to come in and just get a quick estimate for what my rates may be. It's very helpful to do that. And you can even have them submit their inquiry with these values in mind. So you can then, not only collect their information, but the suggested quote that we might give them based on this calculator. And you can use this pricing calculator in many different ways. You can use it for like insurance premium calculations, or you can use it for investment calculations. Pricing calculators can be used in a wide variety of business applications. And with the new vibe coding block, it's easier than ever to create it. And I'm going to show you how to create it with data in your database. And if we get to it, I'm not sure if we'll get to it, but when you actually go to submit that data, to have that data actually sent, that payload sent to Softr Workflows, to then be saved in your database as a new submission as well. All right. So it's a 3-step process. The first step of the process is we want to build the data in the database. So we want to think about what values we're going to provide in that way. All right. And when I'm thinking about values for Softr partners, I'm thinking about types of services I want to provide. So here's going to be our example database, DB calculator. I'm going to go and create it together here. And let's see. I have questions prepared. I'm just pulling up off to the side here. So first question is, what are you building? All right. We'll get into that, but actually let's go name. Let's go email. We'll make this an email field so we can collect that the information of the person. So their name, the email. All right. And then we can have statuses, which is a contact submitted, quote prepared, and then in progress. In progress being like, hey, we're working with them. Quote prepared meaning like we spoke to them and we gave them an official quote. And then the contact submitted, we'll use it as the default option. So that way, whenever a new record is created, by default, it's the contact submitted. Okay. So we have our 3 fields here. Now let's actually get into the fields for the actual pricing calculator. So in this case, what are you building? So this is going to be a status or select, and it's going to be what are you building? And it's going to be, let's say, a internal tool. It's going to be a client portal. Client portal can be an MVP. And let's see, we'll just keep those options for now. So we're going to ask them what they're building. Now, how complex is the application? Select. How complex is the application? And we'll go basic, moderate, advanced, and then very, very custom. All right, so we have 2 questions here so far. And then we'll get into how soon do you need it? Another select field here. How soon do you need it completed? We'll say flexible, standard delivery, accelerated, and then I think those would be the fine one. Those ones. Now, what level of support do you need after the launch? Another select field here. What level of continued support? And then say post-launch. I say no support. 30-day post-launch support. Feature expansion. Dedicated partnership. All right, so I have a good amount of options here. This can get me started. Now I'm going to go into Softr interface. I'm going to build a new app here. I'm going to create a new app, start from scratch. I'm going to go Softr databases. And this is going to be my DB calculator. And I'm just going to go up and just update the theme color here. We'll maybe make it like, let's get like an orange going. All right, that'll be fine. Cool. And I am going to get rid of this block. I'm going to bring in a new block. It's going to be my vibe coding block. And this is where the magic of it all comes in. Now, I have prepared data here that I'm going to add into the prompt. And it has a little bit more of the values that I want to show, because right now we have like what we're building, but we don't actually have the values of like how we're going to relate to this stuff, right? Meaning like, what does a basic app mean? What does, how soon do you need to complete it? And the values for each, right? Now I'm going to actually spell that out in the prompt and have AI build those values for me. But you could also build this further within the database. Maybe you do like subtables with linked records. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I just don't know if I want to, I guess we could do formula fields for that. But there's a lot of different ways to structure this data, and I don't want to get too caught up in the data structuring right now because there's a lot of ways to do it. So I'm going to hard program a little bit of this, and then I'm going to do some other stuff here. So we're going to say build a dynamic pricing calculator for a development service agencies using the questions based on this data source here. Data source connected. And then we want to connect the data source. So we're going to grab that data source, and it's going to be DB calculator, and it's going to be our first table. All right. There's a lot of ways you can structure this database. There's a lot of ways you can structure it. All right, so we've structured this database in the table. And now specifically, we want to use the fields for, and then we're going to reference the fields that we have here. Now, a quick little thing in Softr databases, go to edit field. You can grab this little ID, and that's really helpful to show the DB right here, like this agent right here. What fields you want to use, field ID, because that way they will grab the specific field rather than actually, writing the field name out and getting that wrong. So I'm just showing the different fields that I'm grabbing here. right. Field ID. All right. And then grab this one too. So we have our 4 fields here that we want them to use. Now, based on each of these fields, here are all the values that I am looking to use. And then this is where I'm going to grab my logic that I've already built off to the side. So let's see. I'm going to say an internal tool is around 40 to 70 hours, 5 to 8 grand. I'm going to say an MVP is here. Now, did I put a client portal in here? Oh, we should definitely put a client portal in. What are you building? Oh, I do have it. Okay, great. All right, so MVP, and then we'll also put client portal. So adding some of the values in here. Let's see if AI is smart enough to know that. Now, how complex is it? Now, for complex, we used 3 different ones as well. So basic equals 1x multiplier. And then advanced equals 1.25x multiplier. And this multiplier is essentially saying if it's more complex, we're going to multiply the prices that we're applying just to account for some kind of complexity in there. So moderate, advanced, and then very custom. And then very custom equals 1.5x multiplier. All right. Moving on through this. Now the next one is, how soon do you need it? How soon do you need it? And then for this one, we're using flexible, standard delivery, and acceleration. Flexible, standard, acceleration. And so for this one, we'll also do, let's see, another multiplier here. So 1x multiplier. And then standard will be 1x, acceleration 1x actually. Flexible, standard, let's just do 1.25, and accelerated, let's do 2x. I'll be able to pull that up. Accelerated. And then finally, level of support. All right. And then for the values that we have here, let's go here. So I'm going to get rid of one of these. No support. Let's see. So no support, no additional price. No support, no additional price. And then the next one is, let's see, 30 days post-launch. 30 days post-launch equals plus 10% of build. And then finally, dedicated partner equals, let's say $5,000 per month, which is kind of hard to use in a calculator. I'm not sure how it's going to quite get this one. Maybe we'll see how it goes. I think that's good enough for now. Let's type this in here and see what we get out of it. Again, there's a lot of different ways that we could structure this data. I don't really like hard coding this. But again, I just didn't want to spend too much time on the database setup for this. Let's see how smart the AI block is and using these values with the fields that we have. I'm interested to see how it goes. Again, we connected it to our table here, so it's reading data from our database. Once a chat goes through, then we'll have history in the content tab, and we'll be able to see the recent prompts and switch between those history. All right, cool. We got this. Now we can preview it. Let's see how this goes. Let's go preview. All right, what kind of project we're building? Great, we have our 3 options there. How complex is it? Moderately advanced, how soon do you need it? Accelerated, what level of support? No support. And then based on that, we have our project type. So it's an MVP. We estimate around this many hours, this rate. I think the accelerated really pumped it up here. I wonder if we changed that. Look at that. We changed that and adjust real time there. That's really cool. If I bring down to basic, it brings that down as well. So I think the values here are coming in decent. especially for how quick we made that. Hey, good to see you. Thanks for checking in. Yeah, and this one, it's pretty cool. Again, we can use this pricing calculator in a lot of different ways, and it's all flexible, dynamic. You can see it real-time updating here. If I wanted to switch over to an internal tool that's more, affordable in that sense, using the time frames that we allotted there. Really cool stuff here. So there's a lot that we can use this for in many different ways. If anyone has questions, let us know. I'd be happy to answer those now while we're kind of wrapping up here. But dynamic pricing calculator, single page application. Oh, you know what? We can do that. We could take that to the next step now. And yeah, I think we could take this to the next step now and say, let's add a submit button, which sends the value. We got to do a couple things here. We need to add an input to collect name plus email. And then for the email input, let's make sure we validate for valid emails only. All right. Since this is AI, we need to tell it more of the things that Softr automatically does for us in the other blocks. Then let's add a button for the user to submit their estimate plus contact info so we can save it to our database and call them back to discuss their project further. There's something missing here, though. We need to tell AI where they're going to send the payload being the values that the user submitted to. And that's where a webhook comes in. For the prompt, we used a longer prompt here. It was a combination of things. And so I asked it to build a dynamic pricing calculator. And then specifically, I told it what fields in the database I wanted it to use here. In this case, it was those 4 fields. And then I gave it the values based on, like, if they selected this field, here's what it would be. And then it built it for me. Yeah. I think you can be as specific or not specific as you want with the AI coding block. It adjusts to you. You can start simple and then iterate on it and add things on top of it, kind of like what I'm doing here. Now that I have the pricing block figured out, now I'm adding more information so we can collect data from the prospective client looking to get more information here. So yeah, action buttons are not supported yet in a no-code way, but you can get around that by using webhooks in a more customized way. And I'm going to show you that as soon as this finishes up here. I'll show you how to connect this vibe coding block to Softr workflows so you can send the data from this vibe coding block to Softr workflows and then save it in the Softr databases. A full stack mechanism really coming into play here. Oh no, what went wrong here? So it ran into an issue. So I'll take this opportunity as a chance to make it better. So add an input to collect the name and email. For the email input, let's validate it. Then let's add a button to submit their estimate. Okay. And then we want to send the payload from the form to this webhook. Now we need to go into Softr workflows here, create a new tab. We'll go to workflows, and now we got to create a new workflow, and this is going to be a webhook workflow, right? This is where we're going to have that URL right here that we can copy and paste here to have this data sent to this workflow. Okay. Now this is there we go. Now I need to test it. And so in order to test it, I need to actually have this run. So let's try this again here. So again, I'm asking the vibe coding agent to create a button. And when you click on that button, send it to this Softr workflow right here, which is the technical term is a webhook. It's kind of like a public URL that you can send data to. And once data is sent to that URL, Softr workflows will process that data depending on how you set up that workflow. I will say that you are sending data via the client side here. So you don't want to ask for any kind of really sensitive information within these forms, such as like Social Security, all that kind of stuff, because it's not the most safe way to do it. So keep sensitive data out of this until we integrate more of our action buttons and a native no-code approach. And then that way we'll look to do more safer options for this. All right, great. It worked. Look at this. That's great. So we have that going. But now what we need to do is we need to go preview and send test data to that webhook so we can take it from there. So what type of tool? Internal app, basic, flexible, no support. There it is. Now my name is JJ. My email is jj@softr.io. If I can type correctly today. Now we've submitted that. That's great. Now we go back to our workflows here. We go to testing and we test it, and boom, look at that. We have all these values coming in now. All right, that is excellent. So now what do we want to do with these values? I'm going to say DB calculator webhook. Great. I also want to go in here. I'm going to say, let's say pricing, and then I'm going to go in here, and then I'm going to go blank table, and it's going to be client submissions. Right now, this is where I'm going to collect the client submissions. I suppose you could, again, you could do it in a couple of different ways. You can create a new, you could have that value just added in here. Let's see, let's just start there because we've already built that. So we'll do that. So webhook. So now we're going to go to Softr databases, add a record. It's going to be DB calculator. We'll go pricing. And now we can start picking the fields that we want to add here. All right, so we're going to name. We'll grab the data from the webhook and we'll find the name field. There it is right there. Beautiful. Great. Now email, status, and it's going to grab the status. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to grab the, let's see. If it's, can I bring this up? Make it easier for you guys to see here. See, it shows the different statuses here. And in this case, it's going to be contact submitted because, you know, they just submitted it. Now, what are you building? Variables. And it's going to be, let's see, we're going to find what are you building here. Let's see, build type. It's coming in. We won't be able to see it here, but that is the same thing that we're asking. How complex is the application? You can see the different options here. Now, you don't want to select this because then we would override the user inputs. So instead, we're going to go back to the webhook here, and we're going to say complexity. How soon do you need it? And then we're going to say timeline, and then what level of support. Level of support. Now, we also have a couple other things here that AI is returning for us. Let's go back into here, and we could see that we're also getting estimated hours, estimated price. Let's add these to our database so we could save these values as well. All right. So estimated currency, estimated price, and then we'll do text for estimated hours. Okay. Now we'll go back to our workflow here. We'll just refresh it quick to grab those latest fields. Grab these two, and then we'll go estimated price, and I'll say price, and then I'll go hours. Excellent. So now we're having that. That's great. We'll do a quick test on that. That worked well. So we have the webhook coming in. We are saving that data to our database. And then what if we just email? You could email both of us. It could be the sense of like, we'll use the send email action. And it could be, who do we want to email? Let's email the person that just contacted us and say, thanks for your submission. And then you could write whatever you want here, but like, hey, I've received your request. I'll be in touch soon. And then in this case, you could CC like me. So then I see that this email was sent as well. And so that way, when a submission is sent, we see that the email is sent to the person that submitted it, confirming that, hey, the submission went through. And then I will see it as well, letting me know that a new submission came through, right? And then we'll just test that as well. And now we're going to turn this on. Now let's test it out. So we're over here in our preview. And what should happen is when I should fill this out, we should get a new data row here with the values, and then a workflow should run too. So what type of project are we building? Internal tool. It's going to be complex, standard delivery, and I want a dedicated partnership. Actually, let's go to 30 days post-launch, make that a little bit easier. And it's going to be JJ. And it's going to be JJ at Softr. And it's, by the way, did you see this? It's doing that email validator right there for us. That's helpful. All right. Submit request. Boom. Now, moment of truth, a webhook. Boom. JJ. I'm grabbing all that stuff. The price didn't come through. I think I know why. But otherwise, we have the hours. I think this is being given as a text and not currency. So I'm just going to update that. And now I'm going to go through to our webhook here, see that this one ran, and the data came through here. And so we have, I'm going to do a real test again. Actually, go here, test again. We have new values that came through here. And so I'm just going to actually do a testing. I'm going to do a real test, have that go through again. And now we see that that is going and working with the updated format for our database there. So we now have a custom form that we built with our own values, and we're collecting the user input. And then when they click that button, we're saving it to our database, and then we're sending an email to the user that we got their submission. And I got that email. I'm looking at it right now. So it's really cool stuff. You could do a lot now that Softr is full stack, and we have AI vibe coding blocks, allowing you to build your own blocks. Soon, we will be launching the ability for these buttons in the AI vibe coding blocks to be more no code. So it's less about setting up the webhooks, etc., because it's still a little technical. But otherwise, the sky's the limit. I mean, what you could do is really, really exciting. I encourage you to keep an eye on our YouTube channel, because we've been pushing content really quick here. And it's been really great to, have all this content coming out. And Guilherme, again, has been crushing on the content, showing you a lot of different ways that you can use Softr in a variety of different ways. So really, really cool stuff here. Thank you for everyone for tuning in today. I hope this was helpful for you. We're approaching the end of the year here. If you guys have any feedback, suggestions, if you have ideas for what we should do on our next streams, let us know. Otherwise, appreciate you tuning in as always. I hope you enjoyed the live stream, saw some of the latest features that we released in the last week or two, saw some new creative ways that you can use Softr in a full stack manner, and much more. So thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys all later.